Hollywood is based on selling the beautiful lie to viewers en masse, but sometimes, whether for practical reasons or because the filmmakers want to wink at the audience, films have actually left some of their production tricks and secrets hiding in plain sight. So let's take a look at them. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 making of movie secrets hidden in plain sight. Number 10. Roger Moore was painted into a scene to prevent reshoots. The Spy Who Loved Me. Though reshoots are typically factored into shooting schedules these days, that wasn't always the case. And so, in decades past, if the director realized that a piece of footage was missing while editing their film, they could be left in a right pickle. But director Lewis Gilbert got creative during post-production on the Bond flick The Spy Who Loved Me, when he realized that he needed a shot of 007 propped up against a wall while sneaking around Egypt. Rather than bringing Roger Moore back for reshoots at presumably considerable expense, Gilbert simply had a matte painting created of Moore leaning against a rock and placed it into the rest of the shot. Thanks to the scene's generally low lighting, it's surprisingly difficult to spot, though if you crank up the brightness on your TV, it definitely sticks out like a sore thumb. Number 9. Christina Hendricks' fake heads. Drive. It isn't being unkind to the great Christina Hendricks to say that most people remember her role in Drive for one reason, mainly that she gets her head blown off with a shotgun in highly nauseating fashion. And because the director of Drive truly loved to troll his audience, he decided to include a reference in the movie itself to the special effects magic that rendered her grisly head-exploding death scene. So late in the movie, when Driver enters a trailer to pick up a mask, on the right-hand side of the frame are 3 prosthetic heads, which upon closer inspection are clearly the actual head sculpts taken from Christina for her death scene. If you look closer still, you can see that the back of the sculpts' heads are actually missing, presumably to facilitate the shower of blood that ended up spraying from the back of them. Number 8. Ash's insides are urinary catheters. Alien. From one movie death to another now, and cinematic demises don't come much more iconic than that of Android Ash in Ridley Scott's original Alien. Once Ash has its head knocked off by Parker, we see the android for what it is, a tangle of wires and tubes concealed within a humanoid form, doused in a milk-like fluid to lubricate its internal systems. But those who work in the medical field might well recognize the distinctly inflated tubing contained within Ash's guts. They're Foley catheters, which are inserted into the human body in order to collect urine from the bladder. To be fair, unless you're a nurse or have ever had the process done to yourself, you'd likely never know. Number 7. Agent Smith's blank bullets. The Matrix. The Matrix may well indeed be a technical marvel beyond compare, but it also hides a fair few sneaky technical sleights of hand in plain sight. In the climactic sequence where Agent Smith shoots Neo, seemingly killing him, there's a quasi-pornographic overhead shot of the bullet's shell casing being ejected from the gun. Except if you look closer, it's clear that what we're actually looking at is a blank round, because the front of the casing is actually crimped, as is standard practice in Hollywood to differentiate a dummy round from a real bullet, which of course would have a typical curved tip. Number 6. Ferris's missing younger siblings. Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Ferris Bueller's Day Off may feel like a tight, lean, perfectly crafted movie that couldn't have unfolded any other way, but director John Hughes actually removed numerous scenes from the final cut of the film. This included a series of scenes which introduced Ferris's younger brother and sister, neither of whom are physically seen in the final version of the film at all, but fans who keep their eyes open can actually find evidence of their existence within the movie. In Ferris's house, for example, several drawings are attached to the fridge which were clearly drawn by children, which, without the knowledge of Hughes' original plan, actually seems rather eerie. And it's a fun fact for you, the drawings were actually created by Hughes' own real-life son. Number 5. Walter White's bloody handprint. El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie. El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie was a rare belated postscript to a hit TV show that didn't feel like a hollow sentimental cash grab, serving as an extension of the series' ending while also employing flashbacks to fill in crucial context throughout the show's timeline. One of the flashbacks shows Jesse being held in captivity as a slave meth cook for Jack. Now, fans might notice that an overhead shot of the lab shows the famous cook tank where Walter White left his bloody handprint in the series' final moments. More to the point, Walt's handprint is actually still faintly visible on the tank, which actually makes no sense at all considering that this scene took place chronologically before Walt died. In a making-of featurette, director Vince Gilligan confirmed that the production team actually dusted off the original cook tank prop for this new flashback scene, which was still stained with Bryan Cranston's bloody handprint. Though it does break the internal continuity of the scene for those eagle-eyed fans who noticed it, Gilligan added that he didn't have the heart to clean it off. Number 4. Jessica Rabbit's original design. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Who Framed Roger Rabbit is one of the most technically impressive films ever made, and has not lost a shred of its luster in the 3+ decades since it first hit cinemas. The groundbreaking feat of melding live action and animation required director Robert Zemeckis to plan out every shot of the movie to the most meticulous and mundane detail, but of course, not everything went according to plan. You'll no doubt remember the unforgettable scene where Roger is presented with pictures of his wife Jessica playing patty cake with businessman Marvin Acme. After Acme turns up dead, one of these patty cake photos taken by Eddie shows up on the front page of the newspaper. Yet Jessica's appearance is noticeably different from that of the pictures being shown to Roger earlier. Here she's wearing a more modest dress, and her face is drawn to more closely resemble a Disney princess type character, rather than the seductive femme fatale that she's otherwise depicted as. The reason for this is that Jessica's design hadn't actually been finished when principal photography took place, and so when Zemeckis finally settled on a sexier version of Jessica, he had the patty cake photos recreated and inserted into the film. However, the newspaper shot received no such do-over, giving fans a brief glimpse of how the character's design almost turned out. Number 3. The crew prepping the final dance sequence earlier on in the movie, La La Land. La La Land is a film of such technical precision that nothing seems to have happened by accident, but the director nevertheless gave audiences a sneaky peek behind the curtain earlier on in the film without them actually knowing it. At roughly the 42-minute mark, Mia and Sebastian are taking a walk past a studio lot where they stop for a moment to observe a set being dressed and prepped by the production crew. Notably, our brief glimpse at this set shows a series of fake hedges in the background, which makes it pretty funny that this set reappears in the movie's final dance sequence more than an hour later, with Mia lithely scooting past the fake bushes. Now, on one hand, you could call it simple foreshadowing, but on the other, that first glimpse of the set being put together could very well be the actual crew setting the scene up. It certainly makes sense from a practical perspective, rather than creating another set to just show off the set that's being built, right? Number 2. Bubble wrap shoulder pads. The Empire Strikes Back. No matter how many times you've seen The Empire Strikes Back, did you ever notice that during the iconic Battle of Hoth sequence that the rebel pilots all seem to have bubble wrap lining their shoulder straps? While on the DVD and Blu-ray it simply looks like a nondescript material, the recent 4K release of the film on Disney Plus makes it far easier to spot that it is very clearly bubble wrap. While some fans have attempted to rationalize the inclusion of this famous packing material within the Star Wars canon, it's far more likely that the production team simply wanted to add some color to the shoulder straps, and this was the only thing they had lying around. And like that, a mega budget sci-fi movie ends up looking temporarily like something you made with your little brother in your back garden. And number 1, the frustrated prop master's journal entry, The Fog, 1980. In what might well be the ultimate example of a prop master with no fucks left to give, John Carpenter's cult horror classic The Fog features a scene where Father Malone reads from his grandfather's journal. Despite what the narration might say, the writing scrawled inside the journal is very clearly frustrated scribblings of somebody who would rather be literally anywhere else. The scarcely legible text sees the writer complaining about squandering their college education and that their work consists of writing dumb shit in this fucking movie prop. It's time to bring in the nude girls with the big tits, tattoos, and shaved beavers. Of course, it's entirely possible that the prop master was just having some fun and seeing what they could sneak into the movie, but at the same time, maybe not. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 making of movie secrets hidden in plain sight. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. As always, I've been Jules. You can go follow me over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice. That's Dice with a C, where I do all of my streaming outside of work, and it'd be great to see you over there. But before I go, my friend, I'm going to tell you about a secret that is hiding in plain sight as well, and that is to just be kind to yourself. You deserve love, happiness, and success. Do not let anything or anyone else tell you otherwise, all right? You're a massive ledge. Now go out there and be the hero of this story that I know you are. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.